The modernist movement also affected jewelry. Today we're looking at mid-century jewelry design. I'm Jill Maurer, and today we're talking about mid-century jewelry. And mid-century runs between the 1940s and the 1960s. And you may be saying, wait a minute, didn't the retro period cover part of that time? And it did. There is some overlap. So this has to do with the time period and the style. Retro jewelry and modern and mid-century modern jewelry are two different styles. They look very different. Mid-century modern jewelry was highly influenced by the modernist movement and also by space travel. It was an absolute fascination with space travel. Especially after World War II, people were looking for fresh new designs and they wanted to leave the war far behind. They wanted to just forget it ever happened and move on. And they became very fascinated with abstract design. So you see designs that incorporate a lot of abstract elements kind of built on top of each other, sometimes collected together and sometimes 3D built on top of each other. And you see different linear bar kind of jewelry, if you think sort of Modrion and that kind of look in art, translated to jewelry. This was also a time period when people were fascinated with space travel, and you see a lot of jewelry that reflects that. We call it Sputnik jewelry. There's jewelry that looks like Sputnik. It can look very atomic, it can look sort of satellite and even spaceshipy and rocket shippy, but also starburst. It's pretty interesting. Some of them are kind of abstract and some are a little more literal, but they all have a modernist twist. At the same time in mid-century modern, there was an organic movement going on, but it looked different from the organic movements before. So before, when you would see a feather or a snake, now you're looking at it the close-up and you're seeing parts of the animal. So animals and feathers were used as texture and a lot of times with enamel, and there was a lot of color in this. One of my favorites who did this was David Webb, and he would have bracelets that just kind of look like scales of a snake but in bright enameled colors. And he also had bracelets that would have maybe a snake head or a panda head or even a zebra head clasping a ring. So animals and nature were reinterpreted at this time. During the 1960s, the jewelry became even bigger and more abstract. You would just see gold that was hammered. So where you might have in the past had a circle pin, it would be just a big gold piece that was hammered or highly textured and not a lot of stone. Generally, people wore their stones only at night, and during the day they wore plainer pieces. But when I say plainer, they were still big and bold, and they had a lot of texture. The stones were reserved at night, but people did have somewhere to go. I mean, these people were partying at night, they were celebrating at night, they were dressing for dinner, they had somewhere to go, and they broke out their jewelry at night as well. Different abstract shapes would come together to make more complex designs in the 1960s as things got bigger. People were also experimenting with free-form shapes, and they would take free-form or oddly shaped stones and then follow that piece to create a piece of jewelry. So that is mid-century modern jewelry. It is big, it's bold, it's experimental, it's very positive. It has a positive vibe of looking toward the future and looking toward space exploration. It was very expressive and creative and celebratory. Let me know what you think about mid-century jewelry in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe so we can see each other again. Until next time.